Hello and welcome. This is This Time Africa with me, Sia Matilda Banga. And as you know, This Time Africa showcases our African men and women, they're business entrepreneurs, politicians, emerging leaders, and all of that, as you know. And as always, I have a question that I always ask, which is, what's on this time? And of course, this time today, our clock faces, should I say, Ghana and America, a Ghanaian American, where I have the privilege of speaking with a growth strategist and a business leader in the person of Kweku Amoako. Kweku is commonly known as a noted speaker. Is also well known, matter of fact, I would describe him as a master of business and entertainment. But the name Kweku Amoako is very synonymous of one thing, Afropolitan cities. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Kweku Amoako. Thanks for being on the show, Quicks.
Thank you so much.
Can I call you Quicks?
Oh, of course, yes. That's
what I had everybody say. I'm like, okay, I'll join the team.
Yes, that's what everybody calls me, yes.
It's very, very good to have you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Master of business entertainment. A business strategist,
okay.
The one that people go-to person for building your business,
yes.
and all of that.
Yes.
What is Afropolitan cities? Let me start with that, because when I first heard about it, it was very amazing to me, because I know I can see the multiplicity of that word.
Right.
So what is Afropolitan city?
Well, Afropolitan cities is built off the understanding that the diaspora can contribute a lot more to African development.
Okay.
And, in the diaspora, because we are so scattered all over the U.S., we kind of operate in silos, and so we do not coordinate and combine our efforts to something meaningful and big to make an impact. And so I saw that there's an opportunity. Well, let me step back. So the geographic sort of, dispersion across the U.S. is one thing, but also the cultural divide is another thing,
yes.
Right? I say the cultural divide, the division lines are around East Africa, South Africa, West Africa, North Africa, and then when we're talking about people of African descent in general, the African Americans, and also Caribbeans. And so there's that cultural divide, and these things are all these divisions are making it very, very difficult for us to collaborate and partner on major projects.
That's right, and be recognized as well.
Be recognized, exactly.
Yes.
Right. And so I saw an opportunity, to leverage culture as a way to build a network. Okay. And so the concept of Afropolitan cities. It's really about bringing African people together through unique cultural experiences. We started right here in DC about 6 years ago. We are celebrating our 6th year anniversary in July.
This July?
This July,
oh,
yes.
Come up with it.
Right. We did it in 2 years, and after that we started expanding in other cities. And so currently we are in about 8 different cities.
I saw that.
Yes.
Just tell us where you are within 6 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So DC, New York, Miami, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Houston, and Philadelphia, Baltimore.
Wow.
Currently 8 cities with our network. Our network is about over 100,000 people of African descent. So that is great. And really, we focus on one thing, building the African diaspora community through cultural experiences that will put Africa on the map, showcase what Africa has to offer to the world, and eventually sort of invite and bring in and make the world curious about Africa, and hopefully by so doing, sort of begin to develop business partnerships that would help Africa. Or that will attract business, that will attract opportunities to Africa, and within Africans, sort of foster more collaborations and partnerships amongst professionals in the diaspora. And so it's a very out of the box approach.
Correct.
on building a professional network, but it's the most effective. So it's been the most effective so far.
I can see that with 100K
Right.
subscribers,
Right.
and for you to be able to sell that concept, how challenging has it been?
When you say sell that to
the African diaspora, because you started by saying how we're kind of like disconnected,
Right.
and sometimes when you bring an idea like that to get everybody together,
Right.
I know that you may have gone through some challenges. We're
Right.
going to talk about the successes,
Right.
but let me know what has been probably the stumbling blocks within these 6 years.
Well, I mean, I'm a business guy first, right? And so, when I think about these types of projects, I think about it purely from a business standpoint.
Okay.
And so whether it's programming, whether it's experiences, whatever it is, you have to package it, you have to brand it, and you have to deliver it in the most effective,
That's right.
optimal way
Yes.
that will make it very easy for the community to accept and adopt. So that is exactly what we did. We strategized, we packaged it, and we branded it nicely, and then we delivered it in a way that makes it really easy for anyone to participate.
Yeah.
And so the participation is very voluntary, but at the same time, we make it addictive. It's almost like Facebook, right? Nobody, tells you to go on Facebook.
Yes.
But the network effect and the anticipated experience of being on Facebook is really the appeal. And so it's the same thing, with Afropolitan. So when we started, it wasn't that many people. The first one was just about 80 people, right?
And in DC here.
In DC.
Okay.
And then the word of mouth grew. The word started going around, and we started getting larger and larger we grew to what we are today. And so I say the selling is really how we are able to sort of reach the masses, because reaching the diaspora is very challenging.
Yeah.
So talking about challenges,
Yes.
because we are so scattered,
Yeah.
You can reach one community, but how about the Francophone? You can reach West Africans, how about the Francophone?
Yeah.
How about the South Africans? How about the East Africans, right?
Yeah.
And so coming up with a comprehensive marketing strategy that would allow you to reach all these pockets of diasporans. That's one. And then once you have reached them,
Yeah.
How do you convert them to sort of not just participate, but also become part of the movement?
Part of the movement, exactly.
And believe in
Yeah.
it. So
not just come in and go.
Exactly, right.
So actually
subscribing to it, right? So they come, they participate in the experience. And my number one job when people come to the experience is not only are they having a good time and making new friends and all that, but making sure that they understand the mission and the vision behind it.
Yeah.
And once you sell the vision to a lot of diasporans, they are inspired by it and want to be part of it.
Yes, correct.
And so Afropolitan is really just a way to sort of bring people into the network. But once they are in the fold, there's a lot of other things that we do to sort of engage them beyond the cultural experiences.
Okay.
Like we partner with the Georgetown Africa Business Conference, the Columbia Africa Business Conference, to organize the biggest conferences that bring leaders from all over the world, African, to talk about how to explore and invest in Africa and do business in Africa and all of that. And we do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's really not just about meeting and partying and having a good time. It's really using that as a sort of a bait, bring people into network, and the ones they're in, sort of engaging them beyond
and seeing the possibilities
Exactly.
of engaging with other people that share their ideas.
Exactly.
But you know what, I must say that I congratulate you, because one thing I'm very sure about is that food and music bring people together.
Exactly.
And I have seen that. I went to the first one, I didn't want to come back. It was very, very good.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is really quite good. So, but I also understand that you're doing some of the programs that you do are done simultaneously in all 8 cities. How is that done? I mean, I know you're a businessman, you might not want to say, but it's just so like awe-striking for you to have all of this here.
Yes, it is. And I get that question all the time. So before Afropolitan, I worked as a business consultant.
Okay.
I worked in strategy, I worked in operational strategy and all that. And, I developed the skill of sort of running big organizations, the operation behind a lot of big organizations.
Okay.
And most cases, in multiple locations as well. And so doing that for Afropolitan, wasn't too far from what I was doing before.
Okay.
And specifically with Afropolitan, just like any other company, you would have branches, you would have team, you have people in those locations, you have, operational people, marketing people, and all that, that are focused on executing the business strategy in those and sort of localizing it, if you may. And if you have the capacity to do that, you will see that it actually functions well.
I am very sure that it is functioning well, because I've been to probably 3 of your programs now, and I can see the diversity. I know you told me about the drive, but what is it that you do differently? I know it's the business, it's the strategy.
Right.
And a lot of people have organizations in the diaspora that is basically meeting, come and see it.
Right.
So I know that's different.
Right.
And having entertainment and engaging the people, that's also different. And the fact that you are there and a lot of people know you by name.
Right.
What other thing would you say is it that you do a little bit differently? Don't tell us all of your plans. Just a little bit different.
I don't mind sharing my plans. I mean, because it's common business knowledge. Again, my approach is very business, a very business-minded approach, right? First, it has to be deliberate. Right. So it's as part of our marketing strategy, or as part of the organizational goals, we intend to make it a diversified network.
Yes.
Right. And so we make sure that we factor that into the execution of, so when we execute our marketing plans, we actually have specific goals on how to reach East Africans, South Africans, Francophones, and West Africa, right? And that sort of informs pretty much the entire marketing strategy. Okay. So it informs the types of partnerships we go for. So if we want to partner, we want more South African attendees, we want to work with the embassies, we want to work with South African organizations, that kind of stuff, right? And so it's very deliberate, and whether it's online or offline, we make sure that the target and the way we execute is bringing in the diversity of people that we wish for. And
bringing in the diversity of the people right here in the studios with me. This time Africa, I have Kweku Amoako, and we are talking about bringing the diaspora together in what is now known as Afropolitan cities. We'll be right back, and you're going to hear more about the vision to build capital wealth. Don't you want to hear about it? Stay right there. I'll be right back.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, Africa Today. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Our shows are 3 p.m. Sunday Guests with Elaine Pierre. 4 p.m. This Time Africa with San Natilda Banga. 5 p.m. Transformation Point with Dr. Natalie Kamsudomo. 5:30 Cyber Connect with Jean Bosco Fogham. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the Africa Today app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.africtoday.com. Africa Today, the best of digital TV.
We are right back again with Kweku Amoako, who is a growth and strategist business leader, but also mainly commonly known as the business and entertainment master, the king of Afropolitan cities. I have him here with me, and it's so great to have you, Kweku.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right.
Yeah.
So before we left, I said we're going to talk a little bit about building capital wealth in the diaspora. And I'm so glad that you were talking about it. And that's why we're having a show like this. Because a lot of people have been here like for many years and they're probably working, having the money, but probably don't know. How can we build capital wealth, especially with the vision that some people have? They want to go back, they want to engage in their homes. What are you doing regarding capital wealth building?
Well, so my vision specifically says social capital and human capital, right? But I also strongly believe in building the economic base in the diaspora as a way to fuel creating opportunities on the continent. And so even though our focus currently is sort of leveraging or building social capital, which is leveraging the relationships in the diaspora to create opportunities for Africa, and also sort of leveraging the skills, set, education, and expertise in the diaspora to contribute to African development. We see that as part and parcel of creating or building the economic base here in the diaspora. So, for example, not only have we built a network of over 100,000 people, we've also built a database of thousands of businesses in the various local cities. Right? And so one of our goals is definitely to sort of encourage local businesses and support them any way that we can, with exposure, with connecting them with the right programs, whether it's a business training and whatnot, sort of building and supporting that. Because when we build an economic base and empower our own people, it translates.
It does.
That's one. And also, if we're able to do that and build linkages between African business, diaspora businesses, and businesses on the continent, what we do is we create sustainable partnerships that will translate into sort of fueling various African industries. And so
sustainable development.
And sustainable development, right? And so if you're here, for example, and now, African wear is becoming a cool thing.
It is becoming a cool thing,
and you know African designers on the continent. There's two ways of supporting. One, you can say, "Oh, I'm going to help my African people and send aid like everybody else does," which doesn't. We all know there's no going anywhere. Or you can start your own business here and use, sort of partner with them to provide, to sort of supply Ankara print and African print and all of that would go into your business. So there is a lot of what you've created is a lot of dependency that your survival depends on their survival. And so that relationship
partnership
is very sustainable. You strengthen each other, you're empowering each other, and you're making money together. And so not only are you making money for yourself, but you're also creating a lot of opportunities on the continent. And that is why I'm very, very big advocate of building the economic base here in the diaspora. So everything that we're doing with building a network, with supporting businesses and all that is the ultimate goal for them.
So if somebody comes to you and says, "I'm from Sierra Leone, we have diamonds, and I'm looking for partners that will come to me."
Yes.
Is that a good place to talk to you? Or how do you? I'm just saying.
Well, listen, if it's a good business, I'm gonna do it for myself. But
let's talk after the show.
Right. Listen, you talk that much, you're talking my language. But again, I think the power of the network is that there is going to be a group of people so in essence the network is a marketplace. A marketplace that sort of matches opportunities with needs.
That's right.
That's
what economy is.
That's exactly right. And so if you're going to the diamond business in Sierra Leone, it depends what your needs are. Do you need capital? Do you need human capital? What skill set do you want? Do you need machines? What it is, right? If it's money, there's a lot of people that are working for investment companies that may be interested in engaging that dialogue. if you're looking for skill, there's more abundance of skills in the diaspora.
And I think that's why you've succeeded, because you have a database of all of this.
Exactly.
You can, with one, I believe that in what I've seen about your company organization, with one click of finger, you will know exactly who to call and who to talk to. And that's so very important. So are there any particular partners that you are targeting, or is it just you are open to just assisting any African business or businesses or organizations that want?
Right now it's very general, because it's our focus is the community. We say Afropolitan is a community building effort, because we are focused on building the community. Community is made up of the people, the businesses, and the culture that sort of revolves around all of that. So we know that some opportunities are more ripe than others, but we support all types of businesses, because we know that there are needs for different kinds of businesses in the community.
And you have some success stories?
Oh, we have plenty success stories.
I mean, without saying in particular anyone, just give me an example of...
We have, so there's a couple. There's the opportunity. I mean, there are stories where people have met at Afropolitans, become friends, and then become business partners. There's examples of ones that have started financial companies in New York, ones that have started agro business here, and there are ones that have started agro business across the continent also, right? So on the business side, that has happened. On the social side, and I always believe that the social bonds are the ones that really drive businesses, right? And also cut across boundaries. And so there's a lot of friendship that have been made, through Afropolitan. People have expanded their social networks. People have moved to DC, didn't know anybody, came to Afropolitan, and they were the talk of the town. So there are multi-layered types of benefits with Afropolitan.
And the reason why I'm liking it also is because I think we are our best lobbyists.
Exactly.
I think if you come from whatever country in the continent you come from, you will be your best lobbyist, whether it's political or whether it's just, what do you think about that?
I absolutely agree with that. I call it, we are our best brand ambassadors, or we are the best ambassadors of the African brand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think if somebody needs something from Africa, they go to you.
Exactly.
You are your best brand, brand ambassador. I like that word. I really like that word. So connecting the ethnic group and the diversity, I know that's also a goal that Afropolitan is looking at. Now with 100K people, what's your limit? The sky?
The sky, exactly. Of course the sky is the limit. I mean, I'm a big thinker. The people that know me know that I struggle with doing small things. I could have easily done DC and been very comfortable with it, right? But knowing me, I decided to go for the world. So, obviously the idea is to build the largest global diaspora network, right? To fuel opportunities across. So now we're in 8 cities. We want to go to Europe, we want to go to Canada, we want to go on the continent. And now we're also using the network to sort of create a lot more opportunities. This year we're going to travel. And so a lot of the things that we say is that our mission specifically is breaking the diaspora divide. And so that the cultural divide between the Africans. And so we're taking that mission to the next level. This year we're taking Africans and African Americans and Caribbeans to Africa. We're going to start curating trips to Africa, all over Africa. This year we're going to Ghana. But starting from that.
Tell the viewers about it. If somebody wants to come on board, what do we do?
Exactly, right.
Tell us about your website, all of that. How do we jump in this?
Exactly. So for the very first time, we are going to, we say what we've been doing so far, Afropolitan cities, we say we've been bringing a taste of Africa to the diaspora. We're going to turn that around to deepen our mission of breaking the culture. The only way we understand each other, the only way we really understand each other is if we learn about each other and experience each other's cultures. And the best way to do that is on the continent. And so this year, we're going to Ghana. But from that, we're going to go to Cameroon, we're going to go to South Africa, we're going to go to Congo, we're going to work with African governments. And the idea is that we get to really experience each other's culture, explore opportunities on the continent, work with African governments in different ways we can contribute as diasporans, and have fun while we're doing that.
That's right.
You know, you can't say Afropolitan without fun. So the first trip is in December 26th to January 5th. You can do that on afropolitancities.com. We are welcoming all of you to join the trip.
And we will be.
Yes.
I want to say something. I want to ask a personal question.
Okay.
You just turned 40?
Yes, I did.
How does it feel turning 40?
Oh, man.
40 looks like the 25, I can say.
So they say, right? So, wiser. If I feel wise, much wiser, especially with everything that I'm doing. You know, at 40, I've experienced, you know, the worst and the best, you know, and so, you know, but I'm younger, I stay young at heart, so I take the 25.
Is this a man's world, do you think?
Not at all. I don't think so. I think it's a man's world as much as it is a woman's world.
Thank you. I was going to say that. So I'm about, I know that the time is so short, but you know you're coming back again to the show.
Okay.
But I want to ask, what is it that will happen to Kweku Amoako that Kweku will say, aha, this is really what I've been waiting for. This is the domain. This is the final, I don't know how to put it, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I don't want to say aha moment, but that's something that happens to us that gives us that fulfillment. What is it?
I said in the beginning that, you know, the Afropolitan movement, it was started because I am particularly very passionate about African development, right? And so I think when the network grows to the level where we're able to influence and directly impact the growth of African economies, influence African politics, and really be part of major change on the continent, that's when I know I did the right thing.
That you are.
Yes.
That you can now breathe.
Exactly.
One more question. I know we're like almost out of time, but I wanted to say this. What do you think we in the diaspora should be doing as far as gaining political grounds back home in the continent? I'm waiting to see or hear one day that, hey, see Matilda Banger, Kweku is now this, that, Ghana somewhere.
Right.
And I can just take my suitcase and make one phone.
Right.
It's not happened yet. What do you think we should be doing? You are, by the way, I think what you're doing is so great. Because it's making a global impact already and breaking that divide. What do you think we should be doing?
I strongly believe I have the theory saying, I always say, it's a value system. And so the diaspora needs to demonstrate value in order for African governments and leaders
to appreciate.
Right. And for example, you know, when I say value, what are you bringing to the table? What leverage are you creating? What are the needs of the country, and how can the diaspora fulfill those needs? And so with the network, for example, right, if the Ghana government is looking for a specific kind of talent, skills and whatnot, and they're looking in the diaspora, I can easily go to an African government and say, we can contribute. Let's sit down and strategize on what your needs are and what we can provide to make that happen. When we start providing that kind of value, they take us serious, and that would eventually translate into more leverage in other areas, including politics, including voting and all of that.
More like, what do you bring to the table?
Exactly.
More like sitting in a position of power.
Exactly.
Because if you don't bring anything, then you don't sit in a position of power. It's been so nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Tell us your website one more time, and then I'll wrap up.
Yes, my website is www.afropolitancities.com.
And this is Kweku Amoako. He's been here with me in the studio. This is This Time Africa. You know how to reach us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course go to www.africtoday.com and also download the app, or you can spy us on Facebook. You will find us there. Again, this is This Time Africa, right here in the studios of Africa Today. It's been me, your host, Sia Matilda Banger. I love you as always, and I'll see you next time.